Hey, it's the Odd Man, and I'm at home today, but I'm gonna jump on my bike and ride into the town of Longview. I only live about 5 miles north of Longview, so I thought I'd ride into town and see the sights, visit the historic places in Longview. There's actually quite a lot of history here. But the main reason I chose to do it today is because there is an event I've been looking forward to all year. The Sasquatch Festival. Yes, it's Squatch 2023! Yay!
I started out on the West Side Highway right near my home and rode into Longview. By the end of the day, I'd done 24 miles and spent over 3 hours riding my bike to catch all these sights. I had a pretty good time with that. But the town of Longview really hasn't invested adequately in infrastructure for bicycles, so a lot of the ride was kind of marginal.
Riding a lot of sidewalks, but in the old parts of town there's not many curb cuts. More marginal sidewalk with no riding on the street. Busy flipping highway and the shoulder. The bike lane went down to nothing. So I guess I'll ride in the dirt. This West Side Highway generally has a pretty good bike lane. But this old railroad bridge is just not cool. This West Side Highway is also part of the STP, the Seattle to Portland bike ride.
Of course, when I rode by the Cloney Park bike track on Washington Way, I couldn't resist trying it. So, well before Longview was established, there was the Monticello Convention at this location.
The Monticello Convention was held to propose Washington as a state. And I think it's hugely funny because originally they said it was going to be they'd requested the state to be called Columbia, but the people in Washington, D.C. said, no, that's too confusing with the District of Columbia, so we think you should call it Washington after George Washington. I think it's more confusing as Washington.
Any history of Longview has to start with R.A. Long and his Long Bell Lumber Company.
So Longview was designed and built by R.A. Long because he moved his Long Bell Lumber Company out here to Longview from the south somewhere because he'd run out of trees to cut. This was one of the original buildings funded privately by R.A. Long. This building is cool on the inside too.
Besides the library, R.A. Long also donated the Monticello Hotel, R.A. Long High School, and the YMCA building.
This is another place I had never been in Longview before, even though I live here. It's really a classic. This guy was one of the big names in Longview history too, but he didn't get much of a park.
Mount Coffin was a Native American burial site on the banks of the Columbia River, and I was going to go visit the site.
Sorry, that's as historic as it gets. No Mount Coffin for us. The downtown is nice and seems fairly dynamic. They've embraced one of my favorite things, which is I think pedestrian crosswalks should be in the middle of the block, not on the corners where we have all those issues with cars. Hey, look, it's the clock. And across the street is the steam whistle.
They claim the steam whistle could be heard for 45 miles from here. It was originally at the mill, not here in downtown. I love old drinking fountains. There's supposed to be a Chief Laluska totem pole here at the corner of Commerce and Broadway, but I sure can't find it. The Merc was the original headquarters of the Long Bell Lumber Company and had the company store for employees in it. This is Sacagawea Park, and it runs a long ways through the center of Longview. It's quite nice. I think it's one of the standout features of this town. Me and Sasquatch, you know, we're like... You may think this is just sensationalizing something weird, but there are actually speakers here. This is an intellectual gathering. Yes, Sasquatch is cool. But Yeti is cooler. Get it? Yeti cooler?
Yeah, pretty much. To be fair though, I don't have...
Real wood seems to be the thing today. Longview also has its share of the creepy and the weird. Like this bridge for squirrels. There's like 7 of these in town. This seems to be kind of the creepy section of town, with the weird guy in the locomotive and the giant squirrel statue. Or just something else creepy about Longview. Okay, I think this is really weird and interesting. I have now touched, I'm not sure which one it is, but one of them is a rock that is, or that was, a part of Plymouth Rock, the original Plymouth Rock where the Pilgrims landed on the East Coast. R.A. Long, a titan of industry. Look at those glasses. I think we look just alike, don't you? I like this little sculpture, but that face, I'm not sure it isn't just creepy. But this apparently is a tribute to motorists. And over 1 million motorists and pedestrians have taken the pledge below. And it's so funny because in the last couple years I've planted a fig tree and a grapevine. And here's my pledge. I solemnly promise as a motorist and pedestrian that I will endeavor to be constantly vigilant and courteous and follow the golden rule when away from my own vine and fig tree. It's kind of funny, kind of cool.
I'm going home. I'm going home. Been a long time now and I'm going home.
This is the Odd Man, out.